Hi, welcome everyone to another video. My name is Denis and today we're going to take a look at some of the best differentials to buy for the next few fixtures in Fantasy Premier League, but now let's just get into it. Okay, so as I said before, today I want to take a look at some of the best differentials to buy in FPL, and it really depends if you consider these players differentials, but the main idea is that these players are going to be under 15% ownership. Now, I really can't believe some of these players are have such low ownership, but firstly, as you can see from the screen, we're going to discuss about two midfielders from Arsenal. One is Bukayo Saka and the other one is Eberechi Eze. Everybody knows, right? Arsenal have really nice fixtures starting with Fulham, Crystal Palace, Burnley, and the list goes on. So yeah, it might be a good idea to have some Arsenal players for this run of fixtures. Now, one obviously is more expensive. If you ask me right now which one I prefer, obviously is Bukayo Saka, but it really depends on your structure. It depends if you want to go for two defenders from Arsenal or if you want to go with two attacking players from Arsenal, because for an example, as I said before, I think that Saka is better, right? And as Saka is on penalties, he was out for a long period of time with the injury, but now he's back and his minutes are looking decent. He's going to be on penalties, at least this is what we know so far. Now obviously they could share the penalties, Saka and Gyökeres, but probably the main penalty taker for Arsenal is going to be Saka. So yeah, I think that Saka is a way better FPL asset than Eberechi Eze, but if you want to upgrade elsewhere, if you're happy with having Eze instead of Bukayo Saka, that's perfectly fine. I think that both of them could be really decent for the next fixtures. Now, what I really like about Eze at the moment and what is like an advantage of going for Eze, because obviously you could see some rotation with Arsenal midfielders. They have a lot of them, but at the moment Odegaard is probably looking like he's going to be out for 1 month or 2 months, and that's why I think that Eze could be a nice option. Otherwise, I just think that the rotation is just too much, and I would just pick Saka or even 3 defenders from Arsenal. Now, as you can see, the statistics are not really that relevant for this page for these two players, because one of them was a Crystal Palace player. He played just he got 6 appearances and Bukayo Saka got 5, but obviously they didn't start all those fixtures. Now, if we look at the XG, the XA, they are decent obviously, but it's really tough to judge them at the moment because not any of them got 90 minutes constantly in the Premier League, and also we have just 7 game weeks of information. Now, yeah, as I said before, I think that if you want to go a little bit different, if you're using your wildcard, obviously I think that you should have at least one of them. I would go for Bukayo Saka, but yeah, please let me know in the comments down below which midfielder do you prefer, or if you want to go for both. But now let's move to the next part. Next up, we have another 2 midfielders, Ismaila Sarr from Crystal Palace and Anthony Gordon from Newcastle. Now, if you look at the screen, maybe you're asking why Denis you're recommending Gordon. He got 4 appearances, he got 0 goals and 0 assists, but obviously guys, take into consideration that Gordon got a red card early on in the season and he missed 2 or 3 games, something like that. So yeah, obviously he didn't score a lot of goals. I still think that Ismaila Sarr, if you want to pick just one out of these two, I would go for Ismaila Sarr. He's cheaper also a little bit. The fixtures are not great from Crystal Palace, so again, I don't think that there is an urge to buy Ismaila Sarr right now, but he's probably my favorite midfielder in that price bracket, to be honest with you, because his underlying statistics are just amazing. As you can see from the screen, also he missed 2 or 3 games due to an injury, but he still got 2.93 expected goals. And that's just amazing in just 5 appearances. So yeah, he's a stats monster pretty much. He's getting a lot of chances, he's missing also a lot of chances, but yeah, this is what I really like about a player, to get a lot of chances, obviously to score goals. The fixtures are not amazing, as I said before. Bournemouth and Arsenal, if you want to wait, you could wait, right, for the next 2. After that, the fixtures are going to be better, starting with Brentford at home in game week 10. But overall, I think that in the future, and obviously because of the low ownership of these players, I think that Sarr is a great option. We saw him scoring against Liverpool pretty much every time he played against Liverpool. We saw him scoring against Aston Villa, so he's not a player who can't score in those tougher fixtures. And to be honest with you, against Bournemouth at home, I don't think that is such a tough gaming for him. Now obviously Bournemouth, they are defending decent, they are a team who impressed me this season, but it's not such a big problem if you want to go ahead and buy Ismaila Sarr. Now obviously Arsenal in game week 9 away is probably the toughest fixture he's going to get all season, but yeah, at that price I just think that he's great value. Now if we talk a little bit about Gordon, I said before I would pick Sarr. If you want to pick one between them, I would just pick Sarr. If you want to go super different, his ownership is pretty much 2.5%, something like that at the moment, so nobody pretty much owns Anthony Gordon, and for good reasons, right? He got a red card, he was suspended for a lot of games. Now what we know so far is that he's going to be on penalties because he took two in the Champions League. In the last game in the Premier League, Voldemort took a penalty, and that's because Gordon was subbed off, so he was not on the pitch. Now I think that Gordon is going to be the first penalty taker, but I don't really care about that if he's not going to be on the pitch when Newcastle are going to be awarded some penalties. So again, I don't think that he's a 90-minute player. Definitely he's not on the same level as someone like Virgil van Dijk, Bruno Fernandes, Mohamed Salah, so you got my point, Erling Haaland. But he's going to be, I think that he's the first choice left winger there for Newcastle. I think that he's going to play most games. Now again, if you're not the type of manager who wants a player who's not going to play 90 minutes every game, then just buy someone like Semenyo, or there are a lot of other good midfielders. If you want to go different, because of his ownership, I think that he could be great. He's on penalties. His data is not amazing on the screen because obviously he missed a lot of games, but I think that the fixtures are decent for Newcastle: Brighton, Fulham, West Ham, and the list goes on. They are a good team, we know that. So yeah, I think that Gordon, if you want to go different, could be a really nice option. Now to finish with the midfielders, these are the last two on this video. Then we're going to talk a little bit about some forwards and about some defenders, Enzo Fernandez and Garnacho. Now to be honest with you guys, Enzo Fernandez, his ownership is pretty much 15.1%, but I included on this list because I just think that he's a great option. So yeah, it depends if you consider him a differential or not, but probably his ownership is going to rise a lot in this international break. So yeah, what we know so far at the moment is that Palmer's injury may be more important than we thought before, so he's going to be probably missing some of the next 2, 3, 4 Premier League games, and that's just making Enzo Fernandez an incredible option in FPL. So that's why he's on this list. That's why I think that he's going to be a really interesting option in FPL. Before talking about Garnacho, let's just talk a little bit Enzo Fernandez. So what we know so far is that he's going to be on penalties. Yes, maybe there is a small chance Joao Pedro could also be on them, but again, Enzo Fernandez is the prime penalty taker when Palmer is going to be out. He's on some set pieces, he's on some corners. This is just amazing for him because he has a lot of routes to points. The fixtures for Chelsea are great: Nottingham Forest, Sunderland, Tottenham. After that they're going to play against Wolverhampton, so the list of good fixtures just goes on for Chelsea. And I think that he's just a great buy for Game Week 7, for Game Week 8. If you want to wait a little bit more, his data is just great. As you can see, 3.66 expected goals this season. He got 3 goals, he got 2 assists, and he's creating also a lot of chances. So yeah, I don't see a lot of disadvantages to go for Enzo Fernandez. The only one is that right now there is an international break. Yeah, I know it is really boring to wait for FPL at the moment, and also Argentina are going to play really close to Game Week 7. And that may be a little bit of an inconvenience for Enzo Fernandez. Now that game, I think that it is pretty much a friendly for Argentina. We need to see if Enzo Fernandez is going to play, but anyway, it's going to be a really tough decision to see if he's going to start right away against Nottingham Forest or not. I think that he's going to start at the moment, but we need to follow the situation to find out more information. So yeah, this is the only impediment I can see. Other than that, I just think that he's great value, and even when Palmer is going to be back, Enzo Fernandez is not suddenly going to be such a bad option. So again, I think that he's one of the best midfielders to buy for Game Week 7 or for Game Week 8. Garnacho, again, his ownership obviously is really low. He started the last games for Chelsea. He looked decent, to be honest with you, but again, if you want to go super different, if you don't mind that your player maybe is going to be benched for some games in the future, then Garnacho could be an interesting option because when he's playing, he's getting chances, he's decent. Now obviously his data is not amazing. Chelsea played a lot of games when with 10 men because they got some red cards. So again, Garnacho looked decent. This is not a pick for everyone, but again, if you want to go super different, I think that he could be a nice option in the future. Moving up, we're going to discuss about two forwards, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, yes, from Leeds, and Evanilson from Bournemouth. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, the striker options at the moment are really bad. If you want to consider someone like Bowen, obviously he's going to be better than these two, but I tried to have some differentials, and at the moment Evanilson's ownership is pretty much 2 or 3%, and Calvert-Lewin also, I think that's something the same. Now, again, probably you're not looking to buy any strikers right now because there aren't really a lot of good strikers at the moment. There are a lot of good midfielders, so that's why not everyone probably is going to be looking to buy some strikers. But again, if you're wildcarding, if you, I don't know, need to make some transfers to downgrade someone like Gyökeres, someone like Isak, someone like Ekitike, and if you want to save up some cash, I think that Calvert-Lewin at that price, probably he's the best option in the game at the moment. Now, I don't particularly think that he's going to be amazing, so don't expect Calvert-Lewin to score 3 goals every game. That's not going to happen. He's not necessarily amazing or something like that. He's not getting a lot of chances, but he's on penalties. He's playing 90 minutes or close to 90 minutes every game. And yeah, pretty much you don't have this with other strikers from Sunderland or from other teams. So I think that he's decent. If you want to save up some cash and you don't want to go straight to someone like Guyu at 4.3 million, I think that Calvert-Lewin is probably the best, cheapest options at the moment. But yeah, it's not such an exciting pick. I get that. And with Evanilson, the fixtures are not amazing. Crystal Palace and Manchester City in the next 3 are not great, but from game week 11 and 12 onwards, the fixtures are going to be decent for Bournemouth. And at the moment, I just think that he's maybe going under the radar a little bit now. I understand he got just 1 goal, 1 assist. He's not on penalties. We have better picks from Bournemouth, right? We have Antoine Semenyo, who's miles better than Evanilson at the moment, but he's the striker. He's the number 9, and I think that at some point he could be a really nice differential if you want to go there. If you want to go for double Bournemouth defense from game week 12 or something, that I think that he could be a decent option. So yeah, there aren't really a lot of good forwards at the moment. João Pedro, Mateta, Bowen. Regarding the ownership, right, I think that these are pretty much the best options, and Strand Larsen also at that price, 6.4 or 6.5 millions on penalties for Wolverhampton. But again, Wolverhampton are not so convincing at the moment, so yeah, pretty much that's it. Moving to the last part, we're going to discuss about 2 defenders, Diouf from West Ham and Trippier from Newcastle. Now again, guys, I'm going to start with Diouf here. Again, what we don't really like about Diouf at the moment, because obviously everybody's going crazy with the defensive contributions, he's not amazing at that, right? And also West Ham are not an amazing defense or something like that, but to be honest with you, their fixtures for the start of the season weren't great. So again, maybe they're going to improve with the new coach. We don't know that at the moment. And again, if you want to make better safe transfers, definitely there are better defenders to look at who are also decent for defensive contributions. Someone like Anderson from Fulham could be better, but Diouf at the moment at that price, probably he's the most attacking defender in the game at the moment. He got 4 assists, as you can see, in 7 games, which is great. So he's bombing that left spot from West Ham. He's getting a lot of crosses, he's getting a lot of assists. The next 4 fixtures are decent for West Ham if you don't include Newcastle, Brentford, Leeds, and then they're going to play against Burnley or something like that in game week 11. So yeah, a short-term punt, I think that he could be decent. Again, if you don't really trust West Ham, again, probably they are going to concede some goals in this run of fixtures anyway, but yeah, I think that he's a decent option at that price if you're looking for a really attacking defender. Now, if we move to Trippier, a lot of this is related to Tino Livramento's injury, so he's going to be out for some weeks, I think. I'm not sure exactly the length of the injury, maybe 1 month, maybe 3 weeks, something like that. So Trippier is looking like he's more nailed at the moment for Newcastle. Now, if there are any Newcastle fans following me, please let me know in the chat. Do you think that Trippier is nailed for Newcastle, and how many games he's going to start in the next few? He's 5 millions. The fixtures for Newcastle are decent, and more than that, Newcastle are one of the best defenses in the Premier League. Talking about the first 7 game weeks, because they got a lot of clean sheets. We know that Trippier could be and is going to be on some set pieces. on some corners. So yeah, I think that he could be a nice punt for the next few fixtures. Obviously, his threat is getting some assists, right? Because that's pretty much what he does. You're not going to see a lot of goals from someone like Trippier, but we know that he's really good at getting some assists. So again, if you want differential defenders, I think that you should look a little bit at these two. Thank you so much for watching this long. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, and I'm going to see you next time. Bye.